Hello guys. So in the previous lecture we were discussing about the benefits of performance appraisal. Now we will start this lecture with the limitations of performance appraisal. So we will read not only writers on the subject on the employee appraisal agree that it can be used for the purpose stated above. In fact, sharp criticism is leveled against the present system of employee appraisal. Major points of criticisms are follows. So guys, here this performance appraisal is criticized by some of the people, some of the writers, some of the other persons, or the we can say experts, that what can be happen. So what are those criticism, what are those limitations of performance appraisal, we will read here. So here the raters apply different standard in performance evaluation according to their whim. Points given to the same workers by different raters vary considerably. There is no uniformity, hence the reliability of rating is open to doubt. So guys, when the performance appraisal happens, each and every employee should be given a rate based on his performance. So the person who is the rater, means who gives the rate to the employees based on their performance, quite not be, we can say, fair. Why? Because the different raters apply different kind of policies, different raters apply different things in the consideration. So there will be no uniformity. Hence, the reliability of rating is open to doubt. Now we will see, if the raters do not give points logically, then the workers may be rated high or low than what he actually is. Then the third limitation is the halo effect also twists the result of rating. It means that if a rater observes that an employee is very intelligent, then he is apt to believe that he is very loyal also. Some 65 years ago, Thorndike pointed out that the halo effect on the basis of experiments conducted by him. This effect is found even in schools and colleges. When examiners evaluate students, as one author pointed out, even under the most favorable conditions, the halo effect will be present to some extent. Halo effect means perception. Means, for example, if we are doing an evaluation, if we find someone very intelligent, we think that he is not only intelligent, but he will also be good in the trust. So by to be impressed by some of the points or some of the attitudes, we just assume that everything will be good in him, everything will be perfect in him, but it is not always necessary. There should not be any perception in the evaluation. So halo effect will also be the limitations of the performance appraisal. Now we will see errors in devising the rating forms. Devising the rating forms may also be responsible for failure in the rating system. And employee appraisal is useless in connection with the promotion because rating is based on the assumptions of what the employee did on his present job. Promotion requires special assessment in terms of requirement of the new job. So, guys, these are what the limitations of the performance appraisal. Now we will see appraisers. So appraiser means the person who conduct the evaluation process, the person who do the evaluations of the employees. So what should be there, what different qualities of there in the appraisers, and we'll see each and everything in details. So here, let's see the introduction. Performance appraisal is also a technique of human resource development. Any person may be appraiser, but he must have thorough knowledge of the job content to be appraised, standard to content, and who look after the employees while performing the job. The appraiser must have a capacity to judge what is more important and what is less important. He prepares the reports. He has to give judgment without any prejudice, or we can say the perception. Performance appraisal can be done by supervisors, peers, subordinates, employees themselves, users of service, or customers or consultants. So, appraisal can be done by anyone, or performance appraisal can be done by anyone. Now, performance appraisal done by all these parties is known as 360 performance appraisal. Companies like Hindustan Liver Limited, Colgate, Pelmo, Live, General Electric, Fonts, etc. use 360 performance appraisal. Now we will see appraisers. Performance appraisal can be done by the following parties. The one, supervisor. So you know what, or you know who the supervisor is. Generally, supervisor does the work of the performance appraiser. Supervisors means superiors of the employees, departmental heads, managers, or other superiors who has knowledge about the employee's work. General practice is that immediate superior appraise the worker's performance and the departmental head or the manager review it. Second, peers. Peers are in the better position to appraise certain facts of the job performance which the subordinates or supervisors cannot do. Such facts include contribution to work group project, interpersonal relations or interpersonal effectiveness, communication skills, reliability and initiative. Guys, peers means the person who is doing the work with you, means your partner in a group, your partner in the job. So peers can also uh, do the performance appraisal of the employees. Now subordinates can access the performance of their superiors. Today in developed countries, the concept of assessment of superiors by subordinates is being used in most of the organizations. Subordinates means a person who is working under you can do the evaluation of yours. So this is also be the appraisals. Now we will see the self appraisal. Self appraisal means when an employee decides to evaluate himself is known as self appraisal. And we will see the users of service or customers means customer the customers are the one who gets the service from the employees. So they customers are being told to give rating, or we have seen drop box anywhere. So let's see. Clients and customers are seldom used for rating employees' performance. Generally, in service organization, employees' performance is assessed by the customers or users of service. For example, behaviors, promptness, speed in doing the job, accuracy, etc. can be judged by the customers or users of the services. Performance of a doctor is judged by the patient, and the performance of a teacher is better judged by the students. So, customers can also be the appraisers. Consultants. Sometimes performance appraisal is being done by consultants. When employees or employers have no trust in the appraisals done by superiors and the management has no trust in the self appraisal, peers appraisal, or subordinate appraisal, then consultants are engaged for the appraisals. Consultants are trained and they observe the employees at work for longer period for the purpose of appraisals. Now, guys, we will see the next point, that is human resource accounting. What is human resource accounting? Human resource accounting means, guys, being a student of commerce, you know it very well that in the balance sheet of any company, we mention fixed asset, we mention current assets. So, guys, uh, why do the human resource not considered in the balance sheet of any company? Because we need machines for production, we need capital for production, we need land for production, we need cash for production, and all such things are considered, all such things are mentioned in the balance sheet of any company. But we also need human resource for production. So human resources are considered an invaluable assets of the company. So, being a valuable assets of the company, why do we not consider human resource in balance sheet? And you know that there is no such thing is considered in the balance sheet. So here the point is human resource accounting. There should be a value of human resources, we can say an amount of human resources, and it should be noted, it should be mentioned in the balance sheet of the company. So this point suggests such kind of theory. Let's see. We will see the introduction very first. The basic philosophy of the concept of human resource accounting is that the human being working in an enterprise are perhaps the most valuable asset, and it is the responsibility of the management to acquire, maintain, and develop the human resources of the organization. While the purchase of smallish items like tools and implements are recorded in the books of the account, the huge amount of money spent on acquiring the development human resources are not accounted for, and this fact is not disclosed in the balance sheet also. So If we want to provide meaningful information shown about the state of affairs of business, then some criteria should be developed to measure the value of human resources and show it in the balance sheet as business asset. So, guys, the point says that we should measure the value of human resource and show the value of human resources in the balance sheet of the company as a business asset. So, these things says the human resource accounting. This is just an introduction. Now we will see the definitions of human resource accounting. The American Accounting Association's Committee on HRA define human resource accounting as follows. HRA is the process of identifying and measuring data about human resources and communicating this information to interested parties. Second definition that is given, the definition given by Eric Flamholt is well known. According to him, human resource accounting is accounting for people as organization resources. It is the measurement of the cost and value of people. It is the measurement of cost and value of people for the organization. Now we will see the third definition given here. In the opinion of Francis Leckert, human asset accounting is the activity devoted to attaching dollar estimates to the value of a firm's human organization and its customer goodwill. So, guys, here we are given the different definitions of human resource accounting. In the human resource accounting, we just come to know that it is a kind of accounting. Means we need to decide the value of the employees, and we also need to show the human resources as asset in a balance sheet of the. Okay, guys, now we will move further and see the basic assumptions of HRA. HRA means human resource accounting. And guys, you know it very well that accounting means to consider the value of human resources in the account of a business. So, guys, from the above definition, the following basic assumptions can be derived in respect of HRA. For an enterprise, its people are a valuable resource. The usefulness of enterprise human capabilities depends upon how it is managed. And the third thing, the data about the investment in human resources and its value are useful to management in their basic functions of decision making. Now, guys, we will see the advantages of HRS. So, there can be no doubt that efficient people working with the enterprise are valuable assets of any business. The following are some of the benefits of HRA. It shows that the value of valuable assets of business and gives a true picture of return on capital employed. It gives a clear picture of long-term profitability of business. It will be an important source of information for investors to take decisions. It is useful to the bankers in true evaluations of worth of business before getting granting loan. Then, guys, second important of the HRA, that is human resource accounting, means when we consider the value of human resources in the accounts of the business, then the other important thing is it is useful to management in number of ways. If complete records of employees are maintained, the management will be able to take proper decisions regarding personnel, particularly in deciding whether a position should be filled by the direct recruitment or by the promotion from inside, whether a person should be transferred or should be retained in the same position, whether an employee should be dismissed or continue. This will be lead to more scientific personnel management. So, guys, the management or we can say the administration of personnel should be even in a good manner. Now, the second important data is available from these accounts for preparing budget for procurement of employees. Information about the standard cost of recruitment and selection is available. It becomes useful in framing training programs for employees. It provides useful information about the likely return from the investment made in the employee development program. So, guys, and the third important is the data available about the historical cost and replacement cost of procurement and development of employees obtained from HR will assist management in taking important decisions like whether the employees should be recruited from outside or inside employees should be trained for the post. The decision regarding allotting various jobs to the different employees are very difficult for the management to take because the problems of productivity, job satisfaction, and employee development are involved. And here comes HRA to their help. HRA provides data about all these points in monetary terms and helps them to take decisions. HRA is also useful to management in controlling the human resources and to evaluate them in order to know how far they are useful to management in controlling the human resources to and to evaluate them in order to know how far they are useful to the firm. So guys, here we are given the multiple importance of the HRA. We will read it one by one. If the value of human resources is shown in the balance sheet, it will show the true state of affairs of the company. Of course, the value placed on employees are bound to be subjective to a great extent, and so it becomes doubtful whether the value placed on total human resources is completely true. For if inside people are shown as assets on account, it would mean acceptance by the management that they are valuable asset of business. The behavior of management towards the employees would be more practical. It will prevent thoughtless or reckless transfer, demotion, retrenchment, etc. The management would realize that if employees are not probably dealt with, it will lead to unnecessary strike and dispute. Such belief and would lead to better employees management relationship leading to the industrial peace. So guys, here as we are given the different importance of human resource accounting, and you can read it out that we will read. It would provide a basic for manpower planning. The data provided by HRA would be helpful in such planning and also for controlling the personnel. Sixth point: when employees realize that the attitude of management is favorable to them, their morale is boosted up. The sense of loyalty develops among employees when they feel that they take steps in the interest of the employees. So guys, again, it will be useful that when employees are considered as of a assets of the business and is mentioned in the balance sheet of the company, then we can say the moral or the we can say they will be motivated and moral of the employees will be boosted up. So they will work even properly. Here we will see it becomes useful in capital budgeting decisions. The present technique available for evaluating investment proposal take into account only physical and monetary assets, but the decisions taken about investment proposals after considering even investment in human resources would be more useful and more meaningful. So guys, as you can see over here, we are given many importance of human resource accounting, and now we will see limitations of HRA. There are limitations of HRA. The concept of HRA is developing one, and its development has not been very satisfactory. Its practical application has number of limitations, some of which are as follows. No clear-cut method of valuing human resources has been developed, which can be acceptable to all. The topic has been widely discussed by a number of authors, but there is no consensus among the accountants. As a result, different companies value their human resources by different methods, and accounts of various companies are not comparable. So, guys, as you can see over here, that if we want to value our employees, if we want to mention the value of our human resources into the balance sheet, but to value our human resources, there is no particular method by which we can value the human resources. So without any method, it is a limitation of HR. Second important thing under the limitation of HR, we will see in one of the method of valuation, the present value of future earning of employees are estimated, but a number of technical problems are involved in therein. Many models have to be developed and experts have to be consulted, which involve considerable expenses. So, guys, there is a method of by which we can value our employees, but to which method there are multiple experts to be consulted, and there are many other models that have to be considered. So, it will be more expensive for the company. Third limit is when a business is sold out, all our assets realize some price, but no price is realized for the human resources. Of course, when the purchase price is determined, the value of goodwill includes the value of efficiency of people of the organization. But when the business is running into losses due to external factors, nobody would be prepared to pay any price for goodwill, in spite of the business being managed by the efficient and skilled persons. Fourth limitation is if human beings are considered to be assets, then depreciation has to be provided on the assets and profit would be reduced to the extent of depreciation. So as you know it very well that whatever the assets of the business are, it is depreciated every year. But there should not be any method to depreciate the human resources. Then the fifth limitation is if the human resources are presented as assets in the accounts published or shareholder, the readers would not understand this unconventional account. It will lead to unnecessary complications in the account. It may be better present in the report to be presented to management for internal use, even the RG Dairy Corporation of US has stopped the practice of including human resource as an asset in the published account. So guys, when you mention the value of human assets in the in the account of the business, then it will be more complexity and it will be more confusing for the shareholder and other stakeholder holders to understand the whole scenario of the assets of the company. Then, guys, we will see the next limitation, that is, some manager consider HR as a method of dictatorial control and believe that it leads to exploitation of employees. It may spoil the atmosphere of the organization in the sense that employees may be displeased when they are devalued in the process. Some of the employees react adversely at the very idea of being evaluated by the management. So guys, when there is an evaluation of the employee, there will be there will be more problem, or we can say there will be an extreme problem to the employee's behavior, because when they are valued, uh, partiality can be happen, and it is also possible that when there is a value of employees in the balance sheet, then uh, we can say the authority, or we can say the managers or the employees are not being treated as the human being, because when the value of them is mentioned in the balance sheet, they will be treated as the machine or they will be treated as an asset. So it is about the behavioral problem. Then we will see the seven limitation. When the value of human resources is presented by estimating the present value of future services of employees, leads to the violation of the cost principle. The assets must be presented in the account at their cost only, while in this method no consideration is given to the cost of human resources. From this point of view, the balance sheet does not present an true and fair view of the states of affairs of the business. Eighth limitation is, whatever method of evaluating human resources may be adopted, the evaluation is bound to be subjective depending upon the personal view of the valuer. In case of discounted value method, the rate of discount is not subject to any rule. It may be depend upon the management's personal view. Thus, the accounts do not remain objective, and even auditor cannot verify the accounts are as true. So, guys, here we have seen the limitations of the HRA. Now we will see methods of valuing human resources. There are certain methods by which we can value the human resources. Let it be seen one by one. An organization may value its human resources on cost basis. Thus, it is the cost incurred by the organization acquiring and developing human resources. It includes the cost of recruitment, selection, hiring, training, and development human resources. So, guys, by this way, we can value the human resources in our company. Now, the second method that we see, another method of valuation of human resources refers to replacement value of persons. This replacement value may be calculated in two ways. Firstly, the cost incurred to replace a person with a substitute may be computed. For example, the replacement cost of factory supervisor would be taken as cost incurred to have another factory supervisor. Secondly, replacement cost means cost to replace a specific person. Example given, managing director of a company is to replace. In this case, each person has an economic value. This is a very complicated issue because it involves economic value of human resources to be made in a monetary term. This means, guys, we can also calculate the value of human resources by replacing them. For example, a supervisor is working in my company, and I just decide that if I want to have such supervisor in my company, then what will be the cost of mine to get such kind of the same kind of supervisor? So if I want to replace the supervisor by someone else, then what cost will be occurred to get the same kind of supervisor in the replacement of the supervisor. By this way we can value the employees in our organization. Third method is the third method is expected re, uh, realizable value. Human resource accounting is concerned with the measurement of value of human resources to an organization. The basic problem is how to measure in monetary terms the human resources of organization. According to Lemholtz, an individual value of an organization can be defined as the present worth of the set of future services that he is expected to provide during the period anticipated. He is likely to remain in the organization. However, if an individual does not remain in the organization, then another measure, expected realizable value, has to be worked out. that the value of investment in human resources is determined by calculating the present worth of respective future earning streams. So, guys, by this way, we can also measure the value of human resources. Now, guys, we will see psychological appraisal. What is psychological appraisal? A number of methods or techniques of performance appraisal have been developed. There are mainly two types of methods of the performance appraisal: traditional method and modern method. What is there in the traditional method? Traditional method, there is under graphic rating scales, ranking method, paid comparison method, post distribution method, checklist method, SI or P from appraisal, group appraisal, and confidential reports. And in the modern methods, they are behaviorally anchoring rating scales, assessment center, human resource accounting, management by objectives. This is a widely used method, management by objectives. Behavior of observation scales, psychological appraisal, result method, productivity measures, balance, scorecard, etc. So, guys, in the performance appraisal done by psychologically, there are two different methods: traditional methods and modern methods. And now we will see, but only two modern methods have been included in the syllabus. Hence, we will make discussion of only these two methods. The one is psychological appraisal, and other is in-depth interviews and all these things. We will see. For assessing the potential of the employee's psychological methods are being used in the psychological appraisal. Following methods are to be included: in-depth interviews, psychological tests, consultations and discussion with the employees, discussion with the supervisor, subordinates and peers. Other evaluation reviews, psychological appraisal is conducted in the following areas: employees' intellectual abilities, emotional stability, motivational response, reasoning and analytical abilities, interpretation and judgment skills, sociability, ability to foresee the future, employees' ability to employees' ability to comprehend the events. Then, guys, we will see on the basis of psychological appraisal decisions regarding employees' placement, career planning and development, and training and development can also be taken. And now, guys, we will see managerial appraisal, that is management appraisal. The performance appraisal of techniques or operative employees is somewhat easy as compared to the manager personnel. The reason for this is that the performance of operative employees can be measured quantitatively, while the performance appraisal of managers can be measured in the quantitative terms. The concept of managerial appraisal has been developed by Sri Harold Kuhn. As per this concept, manager's performance appraisal can be done. As per this concept, manager performance the basic managerial function like the planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, and controlling for attaining the organizational objectives. A number of or series of activities are performed for this function. For example, performing planning. For example, performing planning function requires performing a series of activities like determining objectives, collecting and analyzing information, determining planning premises, finding out the alternative course of action, evaluations of the alternatives and selection, determination secondary plans. This way, this way, each function and sub-functions of manager are detailed into a number of activities. In this model, these activities are regarded as the behavior and standards of performance. A checklist is prepared in these areas with a 5-degree rating scale. Example given: extremely poor performance, neither poor nor fair performance, extremely fair performance. These kind of scales have been made to we can say the to decide the appraisal of the management. So it is quite complex, but not that much complex to do. So again, we will see the next paragraph. The performance of manager is being rated by the appraiser. They access the weight to scale and appraise areas which are clear and are supported by sufficient knowledge. But as per Sri P. Subbarao, this technique does not seem to be a new one. It is only an extension of subjective areas of appraisal to the level of manager. In fact, performance of all categories of employees can be measured but with different degree of subjectivity. Further, this technique is subject to the fluctuations of performance and influence of various internal and external environment factors. So, guys, as we have discussed the last point, that is management appraisal, and we have concluded this chapter. There is nothing to discuss much in this chapter, as we have seen the basic meaning of appraisal and what is the evaluation of the employees, what is the performance appraisal of the employees, what is the performance appraisal of the management, or we can also say management appraisal. And we also have seen the human resource accounting, that what happens if we value our employees and mention the value of employees as a asset in the balance sheet, or we can say in the accounts of the company. And we also have seen the limitations and the benefits of such human resource accounting. Now, guys, we have finished this chapter, and in the next lecture, we will come with the new chapter and we'll meet you there. Meanwhile, goodbye, guys.